Welcome, Life Sciences. Welcome to another exciting life science lesson. What are we looking at today? Well, guys, we're revising human evolution. And I know it's a section that some of you really battle with, all right? But I'm going to try and make it as easy as I can. Remember, I'm just revising, so I'm going to look at the basic points. I'm going to look at the more important points. You guys have got to kind of like put the flesh, etc., onto that. Now remember, when we're looking at human evolution, there's a lot of terms and a lot of new words, and we need to make sure that we're going to be able to use them properly. So just a quick outline, what we're going to look at when we look at human evolution. So guys, we're going to just look at, all right, how we broke down, how did, all right, this evolution, where was the speciation event? And we're looking at the characteristics, the structure, what makes us, all right, human. So what was the path that we followed? What do we see? What are the differences, right, between these apes and then us? What makes us so different? We're also going to look at the fossil record. Unfortunately, you need to know, right, examples of the different fossils that were found when we're looking, right, when we're going through human evolution. And the last thing we're going to touch on is the hypothesis, all right, or the out of Africa hypothesis. Where did Homo sapiens originate from, and where did they go from there? And as I said, guys, a lot of big terminology, a lot of words. And remember, whenever we use, all right, a word in italics, we're always explaining it's about its scientific name. And remember, scientific name, something always has two names, the genus and the species. But let's get on to that. All right, I think a long time ago, some of you might have remembered, we did this whole thing of classification. And what classification was, if you can have a look at the board behind me, we like to put things in order. Okay, so we start off by looking at the criteria. So certain organisms, all living organisms, must fit into this box because they've got this, this, and this. And at each time, all right, we go down, we make the criteria more and more specific. So we are looking at this, when we start off with human evolution, all right, we are looking at this one, the order. And why are we looking at the order, right? We're looking at this whole concept of a primate. We fall under this order that primates. Does that make us a great ape? Does that make us, all right, a chimpanzee? Does it make us an orangutan? No. Right, what does it do? We are going to have things in common. Right, that's what we're going to look at. We are going to have things in common. So all the way here, we're going to have things in common, right, with certain other species. This last one at the end here, the species, that is the characteristic that makes us totally unique. So where are we going when it comes to the human evolution? We belong to the order primates, and that is the big apes, the gorillas, etc. And what happens is we're going to separate, we're going to split. Now, these are really long words, but unfortunately you need to understand a little bit of the split. What does the split mean? We belong to the primate order, okay? And what happens is we split. Primates split, remember we're looking at speciation events, into two different families. Now the one we belong to, all right, as well, is the hominid. Hominid. And basically that means, you can see in blue, I matched them, they're all the great apes and all of us. So we fit in here with all the monkeys, the orangutans, and all of those things. But what do we notice later on? We have a separation again. This hominid group of all the monkeys, all the chimpanzees, all of the orangutans, split into another group called the homnins. And what were the homnins? They all the living humans, that's us, Homo sapiens, and all of our extinct ancestors. And we'll have a look at that concept just now. So guys, the phylogenetic tree is so important here. So let's put a little bit of a time frame on it. And I'm going to concentrate on this time frame. Why? Round about 6 million years ago, this is the one that we're looking at. All right? We had this common ancestor. Can you see here? The phylogenetic tree. This is the common ancestor of all right, of the hominids, all right, great apes, etc. But round about 6 million years ago, what happened? The hominins, which is us and our ancestors, we split, all right, from the so-called hominid group. And this is now, as you can see, finally going to lead us to what we are, the Homo sapiens. Okay, very, very confusing, I know. But let's have a look here. There's a lovely little phylogenetic tree. Let's answer it and see if it comes a little bit clearer. Okay, study the diagram of a phylogenetic tree. You must be able to understand phylogenetic trees in the evolution section. For primates, right, what were we? We are primates, and that is our order. Okay. And then answer the questions that follow. Okay, question number 1. To what order? Right, now over here, this diagram doesn't tell us what order, but it's something that you need to know. We are in the primate order. We have things in all of these, all right? We have things in combination or in common with all of these animals. What family do modern humans belong? Now guys, read your diagram. Over here, there we go. The family is indicated, and it's a hominidae, homnid, the nid at the end, all right? That is going to be, all right, the family that we belong to. I'm not going to write it over there. Hominid, so what was the hominid again? All of the great apes, all right, and the human ancestors. Next question, name 2 species that belong to the same family. So here we go. It's told me the family as humans. So don't use humans because they've already told you. You have then got 4 to choose from. The chimpanzee, the bonobo, the gorilla, or the orangutan. Right. All of those, see, they fit into the bracket that's telling us these are part of the Hominidae family, the great apes. Now the next question, according to the phylogenetic tree, when did the most common ancestor for humans, yes, humans, and gorillas exist? So guys, what we do is we take it, and where do we meet? Where do we meet? We meet at circle number C over there. And then what do we look at? We go and have a look what it says over here, all right? And it tells us millions of years ago, and that will be 10 million years ago. Instead of writing out all of that, you can do that. Okay. The question that can often be written is, what is the difference between hominids and hominins? Right, hominids, guys, let's go back. I'm going to go back to right at the very beginning. Okay, there we go. Hominid. What is a hominid? It's the group consisting of all modern and extinct great apes. And guys, we fit into that, all right? We fit into that group. We're modern humans, chimpanzees, we with them. Then they asked you, what is hominins? This is a hominin. They are all living humans and their extinct ancestors. That is a really important concept that you guys, all right, are going to need to undergo. Okay, why do we belong to the primates? Let's have a look. We belong to a primate because we have things in common. not because I'm a monkey or a great ape. I have characteristics in common with them. What do I have in common? Let's have a look over here. I have an opposable thumb. All right, I can pick up things. The eyes are in the front of my head. My arms can rotate, all right? My legs can rotate. If you have a look at their upright posture, not about walking, right? I've got nails, right? Fingertips with nails. So I'm in the primate group because I have the same characteristics. But now, that leads us to the next part. And this is the important part. Human evolution is about what makes me different. So when we have a look at our phylogenetic tree, what makes me, what happened that my ancestors are on that branch? That must mean that I have things different. There are things that make me different. Now, if you have a look at the skeletons behind me, you can see that they all have things in common. They have things, we look at the skeleton, right? Let's look at the skeleton. That's what you're looking at, anatomy. So if I look at what it looks like, I can see they've got things in common, but I can also see that they have things different. And the one thing that we are going to concentrate on, one of the biggest pressures, if I could talk like that, is this concept of bipedalism. Walking habitually. Habitually means walking all the time. A great ape can go on its fours and it can do something like that. But what is it? It's a knuckle walker. When it walks on its knuckles. What are we? All right? What are the hominins? What did we start doing? Bipedalism. And that concept, right, of walking up straight all of the time, right, brings about these changes that we're going to see. Okay, guys, we're going to have a quick break and we'll be right back.